Congratulations, you've just purchased the Mer Scratch and Stone Chip Removal Kit. Now this is an actual product which has been developed by Forekla, who are one of the leaders in the refinishing products for the body shop industry. They have actual applications which can give you a professional finish, and it's all included in the kit. Forekla are renowned in the industry as being the brand leaders in over 45 countries. Your car is one of the most expensive items that you're ever going to buy, and it makes sense to look after it. More of the bodywork, because that's what actually sells the car when you have to trade it on. Now, there are various types of scratches you'll get on your car. The obvious scratches are on the door panels. When you're shutting and opening the door, you hit against brambles, etc. You might get the odd stone chip on the bonnet, etc. Now, these are expensive things to have redone in the body shop. But what we will show you all through the video is how to get rid of the simplest scratch to the most stubborn scratch, or even a stone chip. Now, what we've included in the kit is everything you will need for every type of scratch and every type of stone chip, so you can have a professional finish as if you had sent it through to a body shop. The basic difference is it's not going to cost you hundreds of pounds. The basic price, you've already got the kit, and we can get on now with it. What you've got in the kit, first of all, you've got the compound. And the compound is probably one of the most important things. You'll see through the video, you can actually use the compound by hand for very, very fine scratches. If you've got deeper scratches, you will have to take the scratch down. And this is where we use the 1500 grade wet and dry. Now, that's important if you've got deeper scratches. And you'll see through the video how we actually use this. To use the wet and dry, you will need a block, and the block we give you here is exactly the same type which is used in the body shops. The basic difference is it's a smaller block because you won't have to have a larger area to work on. We also give you as well in the kit this nylon brush. Now, the nylon brush is used for getting any surface, any sort of grit out of the scratch, any debris, so to speak. So it cleans the scratch out, so you've got a perfect finish when the job is done. We also give you the application sticks. Now, the application sticks will have to be cut in certain manner, and we'll run through that through the video as well, so everything is explained fully for you. You've got the backing plate. The backing plate is attached to your drill, and it's got a Velcro surface on here, so that means when you use the mop will actually just stick very easily with the Velcro backing. To finish off, we give you a bottle of clear coat, and this is important if you've got a metallic finish to finish the job off perfect, just like it would be done in the body shop. So basically, what we've got here is a complete kit which we've taken from the experience of Forekla, products which you use in the body shop, but we've got it together in what we would like to say is an actual motorist kit to be able to do any scratch. And we're going to run through that now with Paul, who will run through all the various demonstrations from the slightest scratch up to the deepest stone chip.
Apart from the items in the kit, the only other items that you'll need are as follows: a household electric drill, preferably a cordless or variable speed, a spray bottle filled with clean water, a few clean, lint-free polishing cloths, and a small amount of white spirit for cleaning the paintwork. For deeper scratches, you'll also need a small amount of touch-up paint to match the colour of your car, available from any good car accessory shop or your main dealer. Note that repairing scratches and chips with this kit is only possible if the body of the car is not dented. We only show you how to repair paintwork, not bodywork. So let's start with the simplest type of paint damage, the scuff. Scuffs don't penetrate through the paint surface of the vehicle. It's simply where the shine has been removed. If you run your fingernail across the mark, you can't feel anything and your nail doesn't catch. So whatever sort of paintwork your car has, you can polish scuffs away by hand and without the need for paint. First, squeeze some of the compound onto a dry cloth. Now apply it to the bodywork, rubbing lightly. As you work, start spraying on a little water, which will help to enhance the final gloss and finish. Within a short time, the scuff will have disappeared, and you'll have the gloss finish back. Keep turning the cloth until all traces of the compound have been wiped away. And there we are. just like new. This method will remove most of the marks that appear on your car over time. As we said, buffing out scuff marks is applicable for all cars, whatever the type of paintwork, both metallic and direct gloss colors. The next type of damage Paul has found goes a little deeper. If you run your nail across this type of scratch, you can feel it, although it's not deep enough to cause the nail to catch. However, although it goes deeper, it still doesn't penetrate the top layer of paint. So, if you wet your finger and rub it across the panel, you'll find the scratch almost disappears. If you're unsure how deep the mark is, you can safely try buffing first. But if that doesn't eliminate it, then it's time to use the 1500 grade wet and dry. This is a process called flatting. Here's how we do it. Please remember to exercise caution when flatting. Misuse of the wet and dry paper could result in the removal of too much paint, causing further damage needing professional repair. With the wet and dry wrapped around the neoprene block, wet it thoroughly. Applying light pressure, rub it across the surface gently once or twice. Keep checking after every second pass as you work to ensure you're not removing too much of the surface coat. You may want to try using the narrow edge of the block rather than the wide one. This will help minimize the area flattened around the scratch. You should require very little effort to achieve this. Add more water to keep the surface thoroughly wet. Again, check on progress. It's not always necessary for the scratch to disappear completely. If you're unsure of how far to go, stop. Return to treating the scratch as a scuff. If the scratch is still visible, go back to the flatting process, repeating the same precautions as previously demonstrated. When the surface is flat, you'll be left with a slightly dulled area where you've removed some of the gloss coat. On light metallics, this might not be easy to see. The scratch is now similar to the scuff we tackled earlier, so buffing as we saw before will bring back the shine. This time though, we'll use the drill. Fit the backing plate firmly in the chuck and place the foam centrally on the Velcro pad. Add a little compound. Start the drill and run at a low speed, passing the foam backwards and forwards evenly with gentle pressure over the area. Note that Paul holds the drill at a slight angle to the surface. This gives more control as you move the foam backwards and forwards. The compound is abrasive, so make sure you check every few seconds to see how the shine is progressing. If you feel you need more compound, don't. Just spray some water on the foam. All that remains is to wipe away the surplus compound as before. Job done. Now we come to the more difficult types of damage which go a little deeper. When you run your fingernail across the surface of the paintwork, you'll find it catches. If you look closely, you can see that on this Astra, the chip has gone right through the paint surface, so we can see primer showing through. Here's a diagram to show what's happened. To repair this chip, you'll first need to decide what type of paint finish your car has. Most modern cars, especially all those with metallic colors, such as this Astra, use this painting method called clear over base, which, as the name suggests, uses a base color and then a clear coat to put a gloss over the top. Older cars with solid paint colors use direct gloss, where the paint layer itself is polished to create the shine. Here's how you can decide for certain what sort of finish your car has. Put a small amount of compound on a cloth and rub it on an inconspicuous spot, such as inside the door frame. This old Peugeot has a direct gloss finish, and you can clearly see that the paint has rubbed off onto the cloth. On the Astra, however, with the clear over base finish, there's no sign of color. So, now let's get cracking and sort out that chip. Start by using the nylon brush to remove any loose particles or dirt. Next, thoroughly clean the area with white spirit on a clean cloth to remove any grease. Use protective gloves if you have sensitive skin. This time Paul will be using touch-up paint, so first he cuts a point on the applicator stick with scissors. Next, he applies the paint very carefully to the point of the applicator. Don't be tempted to use the brush. It's much too clumsy to make a good job. Note how carefully Paul is applying the paint. On this clear-over base car, the aim is simply to recolor the base of the stone chip. It's not necessary to build the paint right up to the surface. This is done using the clear coat lacquer at the next stage. You need to let the paint dry. You should consult the label for the manufacturer's recommended drying time. If in doubt, leave for 24 hours. Now you're ready to apply the clear gloss coat. Use a new applicator stick and again cut a point as previously demonstrated for the paint. This time the aim is to build it up until it's proud of the surface. The clear coat will shrink as it dries, so depending on the depth of the chip or scratch, several applications might be needed, with time in between for each coat to dry. Before you flat the surface, ensure that the clear coat is completely dry. If in doubt, leave it overnight. Flatting is carried out exactly as we've already seen. Again, note how gently Paul uses the wet and dry to avoid removing too much clear coat. Even at this stage, if you feel you haven't applied enough clear coat, you can still apply more, remembering to allow enough time for it to dry thoroughly. Again, the surface is now dull, so once again it's on with the compound and time for polishing. Although it isn't necessary on this light colour, on some colours you might want to go over the surface twice, adding water the second time instead of compound. This will improve the final gloss finish on darker colours. If you followed our instructions correctly, then you should have performed a satisfactory repair. Now we'll take a look at a similar deep damage on a direct gloss finish. Here you can see that there's a typical scratch from a petrol pump nozzle which has again taken off the paint. Remember, in this case the gloss finish is created by buffing the paint surface, so if we want the scratch to disappear, we'll need to get the surface of the paint in the scratch just proud of the surrounding paint. Again, Paul first cleans the area ready for paint, using both the white spirit and the nylon brush. And once again, an applicator stick is used to very carefully apply the paint in layers until it's proud of the surrounding surface. Again, leave to dry between each coat because the paint shrinks, so several applications might be needed. Remember to always check the final layer is completely dry before starting the flatting process. Flatting is carried out exactly as we've already seen. Again, note how gently Paul uses the wet and dry to avoid removing too much direct gloss. As before, the surface will end up being dull, so it's on with the compound to bring back the shine. If you followed our instructions correctly, then you should have performed a satisfactory repair. Don't forget, once you've repaired the paintwork, to protect the whole of your car, use Mur polish to give a hard protective coat and an all-over showroom shine. We hope you've enjoyed watching this video and are ready to have a go yourself. You've seen scratches and stone chips being repaired with techniques applicable to both direct gloss and clear over base surfaces. Keeping your car in tip-top condition makes it more enjoyable to drive and will add greatly to its resale value. For the very best protection you can provide for your car, use Mur products, available at Halfords and other good car spares shops. Have you discovered the effectiveness of Mur, the ultimate car polish that cleans, polishes, shines, restores and protects? See how rain just runs straight off. Mur protects from rain, snow, frost, salt and against the sun's UV rays. And here's the proof. This is petrol burning, but the hard protective covering of Mur creates a barrier to the flames, just as it does to the heat of the engine and sun. No blistering, just a superb paint finish. That's why Mur is the choice of professionals and the trade, for cars, trucks, motorbikes, caravans and boats. Mur is applied with a damp cloth straight after washing, whether the vehicle is wet or dry. Because it's so much more than a polish, it restores the color and removes even the most stubborn road film, insects, and even tar. Then, once it's dried to a white haze, simply polish off with a soft dry cloth for a deep, lasting, protective shine like you've only seen in a showroom or display. That's because Mur is widely used in the trade, and it's a great favorite with classic car and bike owners, and they expect the very best of a polish. Caravanners and boat owners too also depend on Mur to protect their treasured possessions. Here's another test. This paintwork is protected by Mur, so even permanent marker ink will not stick. A rub with Mur simply wipes it away. Mur isn't just for paintwork though. It also protects other hard surfaces, such as aluminium, chrome and stainless steel, for a deep and lasting shine. Badly oxidized paintwork can be brought back to life with Mur. Mur is not abrasive, but removes the dull paint layer, restoring the color and the showroom finish. Regular use gives a superb, deep, lasting shine and real long-term protection from the hazards of the road, even from the harsh effects of the sun. Just look at this. This car is treated regularly with Mur, so we've set fire to petrol on the bonnet. Look, there's no blistering, and as proof of the protection provided by Mur, marks are simply wiped away. Mur is the ultimate car polish. Mur represents real value. Why use lots of different polishes and wax? Like the professionals, replace them all with Mur. Also, take a look at the other products in the Mur range, including the superb bumper and external vinyl cleaning gel, and the powerful alloy and steel wheel cleaner.